Welcome to Inside the Artist's Mind with your host, Jay Harmon. Jay has always wondered what the inspiration is that drives others to create and express their art. Inside the Artist's Mind will delve into the creative's mind and teach us more than we ever knew. Now, enjoy the show.
Your name is on. Hi, and welcome to Inside the Artist's Mind. I'm Jay Harmon, and this is
Sally Barnard.
And we are going to be bringing this show to you weekly, and what the plans for the show are is to talk to artists, not necessarily visual artists, which we are, but also performing artists, musicians, and anybody in the field of arts. We want to get inside their mind and see where they get their creative sparks from. And that's what we want to begin today, by just kind of looking at artwork and seeing where the ideas come from. So this is how we'd like to start.
Very first show. I'm excited about it,
yeah.
and hopefully our viewers are going to enjoy this. I am, and we haven't started yet.
I know, we're just
So,
getting going.
okay. So, I know you were
Okay.
explaining, and also with me too, what goes on and what motivates an artist,
Right,
correct?
right. So where do artists get their ideas from is kind of what we are talking about. And if you see behind me, there I've got a couple pictures, and those are the pictures that I have been developing, working with, and they are in the style of Art Nouveau, which was an art style in the late 1900s, early 20th century, and it developed in the region of Paris. And so this kind of art is something that's very stylized. And I just finished one here, so you will be the first ones to see this this new creation that I've made. So let's see if we can bring this up here.
So beautiful,
And
Jay.
this is my my latest in my series of flower girls, done in the Art Nouveau style. And you can see all the colors. I'm trying to bring out all kinds of vivid colors, and you can see how it's stylized, how it everything is. I have flowers on either side, and it's very symmetrical, and all the colors kind of blend together, but they're all very bright and vivid, and I like to bring out the faces so that they look like people. So this is what I am working on now, and this is where I got my idea from, because I've always been fascinated with the Art Nouveau style.
So actually, as an opening, Jay, very much so, since we are talking inside the mind of an artist, I would like to ask you a few questions about how, which you had already explained a little bit, how you've come about doing that, because just to let viewers know, our art is totally different.
Yes.
This is your art, this is mine.
Yeah,
And
hers is a whole different type style of art. So, you know, art isn't just art. There are many different styles of art, and
so it actually intrigues me that how you are able to, or what comes to you when you're doing your art. I know my answers to that are probably very different to how you're going to answer, but I don't know unless I ask, so I'm asking that question.
How do I get my ideas? Well, I have been working as an artist. I'm a retired art teacher, and I have been working with art and artists, and I'm very familiar with art history and a lot of the different art styles through art history. And I like to follow these different styles. For a long time, I worked in black and white. I did photography in black and white, and then I started to do drawings, realistic drawings in graphite, and which is pencil. And I did that for a number of years. And now I have switched that up to my work now is all in color pencil, and it's a whole different style than I had been working with before. But once I started working in color pencil, I just love the medium, And so then I started to wonder with ideas, what can I do in color? Because I'd only worked in black and white. And so I thought of the different styles that I went back and looked through art history, and what are the different styles that would really showcase colored pencil. And I've done several pieces that we have here at the studio, the gallery, that I did in pop art. That was a fun style to do. Pop art is something that's a style that is more modern. It's like Andy Warhol and the more Peter Max and the more modern artists do pop art. And I did that for a while. I did a series of pictures, and I wanted to get into doing different things during the pandemic. My artwork changed completely because I was at home and I worked on very, very large pictures, and they were all black background with white and gray people on them. I mean, all the features were looked like it was black and white. But I wanted to use that because at the time, that was how, as an artist, I was looking at life. Everything was just so
You kind of read my mind. I don't want to interrupt you, but that was going to be my next question for you, because I know with me, my style changes, but I'm not aware of that. So we're coming from a slightly different place. But what makes you suddenly, do you get inspiration from something?
I do.
Is it your mood?
I do. Like a time, like at that time, everybody was just so consumed by the pandemic.
So you follow that.
So
and then
I followed that as an artist. That's where my mind was, because, and so I come from what's inside and I bring it out.
And that's basically what our show is going to be about. We want guests that would like to talk about how, where, and what they're coming from as they begin to paint or draw, or even people from the very beginning that are picking up a paintbrush and they're not even sure what's happening to them, with something that I would like to explain, because I knew nothing about that. So anybody out there that's watching the show or knows of anyone, so it's interesting to hear you talk like this.
What I want to also do is talk to other people who are musicians. I am very interested to know where musicians get their ideas from to come up with some of these wonderful songs that we hear all the time.
And me with acting, because I always actually wanted to be an actress. So to
how
have
do they create characters
in the entertainment business and just how they feel? I think this is going to be wonderful topics that we're actually going to be introducing.
This is where we want to. Where we want to go with this is to talk about the artists and where they get their inspirations, their ideas, and from the time, how do they formulate it, and finally the finished product, where does it come from?
And again, as a teaching tool for people that are listening, that are tuning into the show, and they want to know a little bit more, because I knew nothing about art. I really hadn't gone even to many art galleries when all this happened to me. But there are people out there that wondering, how do I get started? What do I do? So I think by listening to our show that's going to be going on every Friday, that they can get some ideas from the people that we choose, that we're actually as guests, and what we have to say about this.
Exactly. We'll be talking to people, and it's not going to be just people in the studio. We're going to be going out and getting people speaking to us from all over.
From over, on location, anywhere.
So anybody watching us, if you are an artist of any form and you would like to be a guest on our show, you don't have to come here to the studio. We can, through the magic of television, bring you right here with us.
And actually, I have a friend who may be listening now to the show, but it will go on record, who's living in Melbourne. She doesn't necessarily have to come here. We will talk to her through their magic to be able to go to other places. That's something I know.
Is that Melbourne, Florida?
Melbourne, Florida.
Okay, it could be Melbourne, Australia.
Absolutely. And when I mentioned Melbourne, thank you for correcting me. But, well, maybe we can go to Melbourne too.
We can go pretty much worldwide.
But it should be very interesting. Again, this is our first show, but it just it's in the mind of what's going on. So.
And if you've ever been interested in exploring the whys, the wherefores, and how artists get their ideas, how they work with them, how do they make music, how do they become an actor, how do they do their artwork, how where they get their different types of ideas, because a lot of different artists do different kinds of artwork. So we are interested in talking to all types of artists, musicians, and performers about what they do and why they do it and how they do it.
Yeah, and I guess with my story, and I know I haven't really shared to you too much about it, but I actually had a dream. Someone spoke to me in my dream and they told me to go and get some crayons and start to paint. Well, you know, we don't always remember our dreams, and anyone that knows my story knows that I did at that time remember that. And I started with basically scribbling. I was just scribbling on a piece of paper, and then it looked like something. So you're never too old or ever to start painting.
No, believe me, you're not.
And I said to myself, this looks like something. I'm talking to someone on the phone at that point. And then I remembered what I'd heard that I had in my dream, and I today have about 120 pieces of art because I listened to that. And I'm not alone. People, they get their motivation from many different ways. So
right.
It's interesting, and we want to hear from people that have had similar experiences or different. It doesn't matter.
And where did you get this experience from? For instance, I have always been interested in art, but I didn't follow that path for quite a while. I was an art teacher, and I taught art in school for 14 years. And then I retired, and it wasn't until after that that I became interested in color pencils. And I haven't been retired I'm not that old, but I have done probably close to 100 pictures, over that probably now, in color pencil, that I was just inspired to do it. And it's a great thing. It's a thing that, as an artist, you have a special gift, and I got to say that if you're really motivated to do it, then you should follow it, because if you have the gift to do it and present that, then it's a great thing.
It's like what we were talking about a little while ago. If you follow your passion, not everybody has this passion. They may have other passions for other things that maybe I or you would not necessarily be interested in. But I believe if you're doing something that you feel that you like, continue doing it, because I showed, especially in the beginning, I had many people come up to me and they said, you know, I haven't painted for years. And my answer was, well, go paint again. Let's see what happens.
Do you like to do it? Do it.
Yeah,
you know,
I didn't even really know what I was even.
If it's your passion, if your passion is music, do that.
Yeah, we're talking artists, and artists it incorporates a lot of different.
And that's what I'm saying. If that's your passion, follow it. Don't just give it up and say, oh, well, there's...
Or I'm going to do it, not tomorrow, next year, or the year after.
Don't put it off. Do it now.
Yeah, and I think that's basically what our show is going to be about, too. And for artists of
talking
any
to
kind
working artists,
that explain...
And these are not all professional artists. I'm talking about artists who may just be getting started, but they're doing some great stuff. Why are they doing it? How is it coming from? Where is it coming from?
And most artists, as myself, too, at that point, they say, well, my family, they start with their family, looking at their paintings or their art.
Yeah.
But they don't usually go beyond that. But
they never show it.
They don't. And I think just show to motivate. And myself, too. For many years, I was just showing and giving my art away to people because they liked it. But they are a good judge of what's going on.
And don't be afraid to showcase your artwork, because if you are very happy with your artwork, and you'll be hearing comments and compliments on it, that you are not really doing this to brag.
I think, well, no, they're just, we're breaking for a commercial.
But I think it's something that, you know, you're showing off your artwork, and you're not advertising yourself necessarily, and unless that's what you want to do. But
we're going to have a very short break.
Okay.
Don't go anywhere. They're just letting me know that. And we'll see you in a few minutes. Stay tuned. We will be back.
Do you have an idea for a show or a podcast? Do you want the opportunity to be on TV? Ant Media Productions is partnered with True Oldies Real Radio Station and powered by many online platforms such as Roku, Facebook, YouTube, and even Amazon Fire to help amplify your impact. Do you want your voice to reach a wide audience? Call us today at 866-224-5422.
Looking for art to add to your collection? Well, look no further. Here at Ant Media Studios, we house tons of art, ranging from abstract paintings to realistic portraits. Come on in and find the art that fits your home. Any and all art is up for sale, so pick yours up today. Stop by at 2400 Northwest 2nd Avenue, Boca Raton, Florida 33431. See you there!
Welcome back to Inside the Artist's Mind with Jay Harmon. To be a part of the conversation, call 888-994-4995 Studio A. Now, back to the show.
Hi, okay, we're back. All right, I'm going to tell a little bit of my story of what actually happened to me, and maybe some viewers can relate to it, maybe not, but this is what happened to me and how I started. As I had mentioned earlier on the show, I was not interested in art. It wasn't really what I thought my thing until later in life. This was about 20 years ago. I get this message and it telling me to go and pick up some crayons and start to paint. Well, it went over my head. I had a dream, and that's about all that I thought it was. However, about a month and a half into this, I suddenly picked up a pencil and I was on hold with someone on the telephone. And they kept me on hold and on hold. So what I was doing, I was scribbling. And I'm going, as I'm listening, and then they come back to me. And after I put the phone down, I thought, I've done a lot of scribbling here. It looks like some type of art. I think the beginning part was actually, I was drawing some animals, which is something I had never even thought that I could do. And I'm looking at it, and I showed a friend, and they said, well, this certainly looks like something. So to cut a very long story short, as we don't have that much time on the show at the moment, is that I suddenly realized that maybe I should pursue this and start drawing. Had not a clue. I had no idea. I didn't know what canvases. I didn't start on canvas. I thought that I could only draw. As luck had it, and I don't believe in luck, I believe there's no coincidences, my very best girlfriend happened to be an artist, and we were working in the same company. And she led me to a store where I was picking up crayons. I was picking up, well, it was paper that you could crayon on, which obviously you know much more about than I did at that time. And that was basically the start of my career. And I went from paper to, I went to canvas and then acrylic, and this is some of my art behind me. And basically, the way that I paint, it may be a lot different to many people. I have no idea, as if anybody has watched my show here at the Brooklyn Cafe on a Monday, that I painted basically the same way that I do my show. I had no idea what I was going to paint. However, I pursued with this, and then I'd look at it, and I'd have people come into the house, and they'd say, well, that looks really nice. So I did not give up. I continued to paint, and today, as I had mentioned, I have over 100 different types of artwork. Some very, very abstract, very, very different from yours, Jay, but I think we complement each other as far as that goes.
Absolutely.
So basically, that's a little bit of my story.
So it's great. You can see that artists come from different places, and their stories are all different. And this is what we want to find out. What is your story? Are you an artist? Do you love to do art? Do you love to do music? Do you love to perform? What is your story? We would like to find that out. See some of your artwork. Bring it here. This is a showcase for you and your artwork. And we would like to explore a little bit about where your focus is and where your ideas come from, because everybody is different.
They're all different, and as I say, we are obviously focusing right today on people that are painting, but it's very interesting to know how actors feel when they take over and they're doing a part or a movie. What they're going through, do they really feel like they are that character? I've often wondered that, because acting is something that I wanted to do many years ago.
Is something
they
that,
get themselves into a character. Does that character leave them when they leave the studio, when they've done the recording?
Or does
do
it stay
they
with
feel
them?
it stays with them? It's very, very interesting. In the mind, as we're calling it, I am inside the artist's mind.
Yeah, that,
and I think it's very, very interesting topic, yes.
And also musicians. Where does this music come from? I am so interested to find some of this out too, how they've because listening to music through the years, and I'm a big music fan, and all kinds of music. And so we would like to hear from all types of musicians, all types of artists, all types of performers.
And singers, when you
Singers.
think about it, so many
Absolutely.
people have their own style. Where do they find that style to
And
start
they
off
write
with? Do
their-
they start talking and then they say, I'm going to sing like this?
Yeah.
This is interesting
Yeah.
because do they take over? Think about it. I never really thought about it that way. They suddenly start singing and they have a style. Not
And-
everybody, but most people.
And you
right?
hear a lot of singers, I've heard a lot here on at the studio that have come in, and they sing this that beautiful voice,
Right.
beautiful song. Where'd you get the song? I wrote it.
Yeah, that never
How does that
surprised-
happen?
I now know
I'm
it's
like,
called an original,
You
right?
know,
Yeah.
that is art.
Yes, it
when you
is.
can write your own music and then record it, I think that is
Yes,
just a
and-
wonderful
and
thing.
playing the piano, I mean,
Uh-huh.
it's
Tell
incredible,
us about
really.
that.
Yeah,
That's what
I
we
am
wanna know.
not very good because I had piano lessons as a child, and there's a piano sitting there. If you told me, "Would you like to play the piano, Freddie?" I'd have to say no because it just never stuck with me. But we all have our own talents, or gifts. I'd
Everybody
like
has
to
a
call
gift.
it. Yes,
you
it's a
just need to
gift.
find your gift, and if it just so happens that it's connected with the arts in
Right.
any way,
Here
we'd
we
love to
are.
talk to
I'm
you.
happy to talk.
And this is your platform.
Absolutely. And I'm excited about this show. I'm keeping my Fridays open so we can continue with this. So, okay, if you have anything that you would like to say more, because I'm fascinated with your art, with this particular ones that you're doing with ladies' faces. How do you know when you first start painting what the face is going to look like?
I do have an idea. I kind of formulated, I think of the hairstyles.
Okay.
And then I kind of think of the hair color and how it's going to work with a picture. And then I kind of think of what kind of face do I want to have to go with this hairstyle and to go with the background to put it all together. It's all got to come together. And so I figure it out like a piece at a time on how it's going to look.
Do you see a picture of it in your mind, like in your imagination?
I do, in
You
pieces.
Yes.
In-
I was going to ask
Yeah.
you that in certain
In
sections.
pieces, I just don't see the picture, but I mean,
Right.
I see pieces of it and I say, okay, that would look good with this, and then I sketch it out and see, get the whole concept.
But looking at it, they kind of follow each other. They match. I mean, this is definitely a set
It's
that
a
I
style,
can
it's
see
Art
it.
Nouveau.
So the first one that you did, you liked it, obviously, because you painted it and
Yeah,
I'm sure it looked
yeah.
beautiful. But the next one followed. And then how
Right.
many do you have of this particular style?
In this particular style right now, I think I have about 6.
Are you going to continue?
I am.
And how many do you have in mind?
Don't
Just
have
as- okay.
because I just keep following it, and right now I'm doing the Flower Girls, and this is something that I really like right now because it's very colorful, it's very pretty, it's very
Right, yes.
very graceful. Something that I think a lot of people would really enjoy seeing. So
What I'm noticing, actually, and I've seen a few of them now, the faces are different, but I feel they're all from the same family, if that
I know
makes
that
sense. They've
that's
all
because
got
it's
the same-
coming from the same
That's
mind.
correct, and I just wanted to say
like
that.
Freddie used to say, "Oh, my pictures look like Dawn."
Yeah.
And it was.
Yeah.
But it was the same thing because this is what.
But there is a distinct difference, too.
There
I mean,
is.
they're similar, but they're different.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
Very, very beautiful to look at.
And
yeah.
thank you. But this is it. And where do you get your ideas from? That's what we want to know. That's what we want to
because
hear.
I'm sure there are many people that are listening or will be listening, and they're
Mm-hmm.
going, "Oh, I have a platform to share my ideas," and I
Right
think
here.
that motivates the person. It would have me at that time. It would have motivated me to continue doing, because I didn't know what I
Absolutely,
was doing,
yeah.
so I didn't know I was going to go on. As so happens, 20 years later, I'm still painting. But some people do stop, you know. I
But
know
you
that.
never know until you try. And
That's right.
if you have a passion at all, if you think you have a passion for doing artwork, don't just think about it. Actually, put the pedal to the metal and do something and see what you like. If
And
you don't like
sing.
it, it's okay.
Singers too. I wish that I had been able to sing, because I love to sing,
Yeah.
but I don't have a good voice. But many singers kind of give up because they feel that they're just singing. But it's not just about art, as we said. There are singers out there. I'd love to hear what motivated them and how they chose their style. That would be very interesting.
That's
too.
right. And
Yes.
there's so many different different styles in both art, music, acting, performance, everything. That I think it would be a great thing that everybody, anybody who wants to talk to us, we want to promote you. We want to help you to show us what you do or perform what you do, and we would love to do. That's going to be part of our show, is have maybe a performance or maybe showcasing your artwork or something, and then we will talk about that, where it comes from.
It's interesting from another perspective. If you have somebody that's doing original, that they're writing their songs, and an artist who is painting, it's kind of, I'm feeling that it's coming from the same type of place. Only one person is putting it on a canvas, the other one is expressing it.
They're
right?
all art styles.
Yes, they're all art styles.
And it all comes from within.
Absolutely, 100%.
You can't say that, I'm just going to do this. Well, you said yours came from you didn't know where, but it was something from within.
Yeah. You listen to, well, I don't want to bring my show into this show because it is on a more understanding how this happened.
Right.
However, if you listen to that little inner voice that your passion is, go ahead and follow it.
Follow your inner voice.
Yeah. But this show is different to mine, so I won't, but that's a message that I'm getting from this.
Okay.
Right?
And I think that this is a good opportunity now, since everybody has been had a chance to listen to what we've been talking about.
Right.
I'm hoping that you get a little excited about this and want to be a part of this, because we want to take this
to the next
level, to
and anybody,
see where you
how
where
do
we go from here.
they call the cafe here, if they're interested and listen to this show, or tell people that they'd like to be a guest on our show?
If you want to be a guest on your show, and you don't even have to come to the studio. So
if Freddie, if you'd like, can you give the information? Or
866-224-5422.
Oh, yeah.
Please call in at 866-224-5422. And is there a particular studio, or just call in, right?
That's the number.
And they'll take your information and just say if you're locally, and again, you don't have to be locally, we're happy to answer your questions or express your point of view of how all this happened. So look forward to hearing from anybody out there that's interested. You're welcome.
And please contact us and see if you can enjoy the kind of things that we enjoy.
And there's no going back once you start. I realized that 20 years ago, there is no going back. I take my breaks sometimes. I didn't in the beginning. I was painting 18 hours a day till someone had to stop me. But I think we're coming to the end of the show, but please tune in this time next week on a Friday, and we'll be happy to
We will be
talk.
here every week, and if you'd like to be part of this, please let us know, and we will get you on here.
So goodbye for now. We'll see you.
And we'll see you next time.
Same time next week. Bye-bye.
Welcome to Inside the Artist's Mind with your host, Jay Harmon. Jay has always wondered what the inspiration is that drives others to create and express their art. Inside the Artist's Mind will delve into the creative's mind and teach us more. We hope you enjoyed watching Inside the Artist's Mind with Jay Harmon. Tune in next week as we explore more about how artists find their passion and inspiration.